guilty verdict forever brands R. Kelly as a predator who used his fame and fortune to prey on the young, the vulnerable, and the voiceless for his own sexual gratification.
Well, he was found guilty, but the R. Kelly drama is far from over this morning. So there are still some lingering big questions. Just how long is he going to spend behind bars? That's one. And will he face another trial here in Chicago, as we expect?
Yeah, so here to break it down for us is attorney and friend to us here at Good Day Chicago, Karen Conti. Good morning to you. Long time no see.
Good morning, Scott and Anita. Good to see you.
Okay, so we'll get to sentencing in a second, but I first want to ask you about the fact that many critics argue they knew about R. Kelly for decades, and we're only now in 2021 seeing him, finally found guilty within the justice system. So I just quickly, your thoughts on why it took so long to get to where we are now.
Well, whenever you have someone with this kind of fame, you have the cover-ups and you have the money that's being paid to the women to be quiet. And now we know he had a whole cadre of people around him who are protecting him and obtaining women and hiding and doing his dirty deeds. And, we're in a day and age now where podcasts and television shows will bring things to light in a way that maybe prosecutors don't have the resources to put together. And I think that Surviving R. Kelly, that docuseries, was really instrumental in getting the prosecutors across the country to say, why aren't we prosecuting this man?
Well, Karen, he never took the stand in the case in New York, but R. Kelly told a lot of different people that he was sexually abused by a family member. He told that to Gayle King, remember, when he was young. And so, is that admission going to have anything to do with his sentence? Can it be implemented into the sentence? Will he say that at all if he has a chance to speak?
He's going to be sentenced in May, so it's a long time away. And the government will put together a whole kind of dossier on him. What's his background? What are his potential to do harm in the future? What are the things that mitigate against punishing him? And certainly if you were abused as a child, that's going to have an impact on you, but that doesn't make you a sexual predator to the level that he had. So yes, can the court consider it? Of course, but I think first and foremost is, will he be a harm to women in the future? And I think given the expanse of these crimes and the level of these crimes and the years and the number of people, I think the court is going to look at other factors.
You used the word cadre, those people who were in alignment with him in his efforts to do what he did. I'm curious, Karen, are we going to see additional charges? I mean, this was, for lack of a better term, an organization. Everyone had a role here, protect R. Kelly. And in doing so, in your mind, are they going to be facing charges?
Yeah, and there's a few of them that have been charged here in Chicago. Remember, we have 2 charges in Chicago, one in federal court, one in state court, and there are charges against some of his underlings. Even his accountant and his manager have been charged. So, my guess is we probably will see maybe some of them cutting deals in order to testify against Kelly. And, and remember, this whole thing, there's all these cases pending. It could be that R. Kelly says now with his attorneys, let's cut a deal. Let's cut a global deal. We'll drop all the charges. He's going to plead guilty, no more appeals. He's sentenced to a certain number of years, and maybe, just maybe, he would cut a deal so he could see the light of day. Otherwise, my guess is he's not going to see the light of day.
Yeah, and he does not have unlimited money. I mean, all this time, Karen, he was paying off a number of people. I mean, that was proven in court that people took these non-disclosure agreements with him. They took money, and then he's got enormous attorney fees as well.
Well, right. And that impacts his ability to defend himself. But listen, a lot of people have problems with money and they can hire attorneys. And, he owes child support. He owes rent. His financial matters are a mess. It may be time, like I said, to plead guilty to something, but he can wrap all of these cases up because we have 3 trials. And people always say, well, why are they going to try him? He's already found guilty. Well, the prosecutors are going to want to secure that verdict. And what happens if on appeal, for some reason this case gets overturned, the people in Chicago are going to want to prosecute him. So it's not going to end with this case.
Real quick, because we only have 30 seconds, there's been an underlying narrative here, and that is that the justice system often does not believe women of color when they make an accusation like they have. Does this case change the landscape on that front?
I sure hope so, and I think that's right. I think that you get a lot of attention for white missing women and not people of color who are missing, and so I think this is it's going to be a game changer, and I think it's for the best. And I think that Surviving R. Kelly shamed the prosecutors into finally listening to these women and giving them a voice.
All right, Karen Conti, legal analyst here at Fox 32. Always appreciate your perspective.
Have a good day, everyone.
You too.